Hey.
Yo.
There it is. Welcome, party people, to Talkin' Tokens on a Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
With John Ma, Mike M. Schwiller, and myself, Adam M. Schwiller. We're live on YouTube. Still can't figure out how to get Facebook to work. So be it.
It just don't like us.
Another week of unsuccessful streaming, but we'll get there. We're getting there every day.
Yep.
We're improving. Even our little icon in the upper right-hand, wherever the right-hand corner is,
That way.
for you guys, is our little simple crypto logo. So we're stepping our game up one bit at a time.
Episode. What are we at? 11,
Right.
12?
Episode 11. Episode 11.
11. Nice.
So we're getting there. What's going on with
You got
going on in the front? Your front.
Hodling.
Hodl. Yep.
Hodling, looking to reallocate.
Stacking them bits.
I need to be hodling some power because my power went out just before the show. It was like I bought a generator 2-3 weeks ago, tested it out for emergency situations, and my power went out for about an hour today. And I was like, oh crap, I'm not gonna be able to do the show. But I have a generator. So I was up and running like within 10 minutes or so. But
Right.
I don't know. Power back came back on, so I lost about an hour of mining. A little disappointed.
I had a similar event, but that was on July 4th on Sunday. It went out for about an hour and a half. So I was just like, the miners. I came home and I expected to hear them, and they're just everything was silent.
Yeah, it makes you want to have backup generator and UPS power and all this good stuff to keep it going.
Right.
But I mean, it's a little tough to do that.
For the smaller operations, yeah, it's probably not.
What do you got in the coffee cup there, Mike?
Just a little tea. Figured, why not?
A little tea. Get you up.
Yep. Wake me up. So I engage those caffeine, a little bit of caffeine here, nothing crazy.
So a little shout out to we were doing the float this weekend, and I was talking to one of the mothers that was there, and she asked me, she was like, what, or I think she asked Emily, my wife, she was like, what are those things over there in the garage? And while I wasn't there, she was like, oh, that's my husband doing cryptocurrency mining. And she was like, oh, and then she saw me later and she was like, oh, I heard you doing cryptocurrency mining. My son is I think he's a teenager and he's getting into crypto. Like apparently he's mining with his one of his computers. And she was like, should I be worried about this? Like, is this a problem? Like, is it dangerous? Like, she had no idea what to expect.
Like, do you want him to become financially independent?
Yeah, I was like, no, totally, absolutely. He should be, you should support him. He's like on the bleeding edge of, something new, but it's definitely not like any risk to him. Like, make sure he's not draining his money and make like just like you would if you're in stocks or something. But mining, as long as he's mining it, he's not.
Don't overextend yourself buying, $20,000 machines or something for some altcoin that is going to crash. But
so it's like,
if he's mining
sure
his
he's making
computer,
smart
he probably already had this hardware, and then now he's taking advantage of it because you have a GPU just sitting there. Why not make some money, or a CPU? Why not just?
So I was trying to explain. I was like, "Hey, you should watch the podcast." So she immediately went on Facebook, followed our group, and introduced it to him. So maybe he'll be watching tonight. I don't know your name.
All right,
maybe.
Shout out to the young man who's dipping his toes in the Etho market. I think he was mining Ethereum. So good choice.
Okay.
So it's probably GPU mining, but
playing with the big boys.
That leads us into the fork. I mean, if the Ethereum hard fork is then going to be changing from proof of work
to proof of stake. Yeah.
Right. So then the miners
he'll need to reach out and do other different things, but overall, I mean, the consensus was she shouldn't be afraid of it as a mother.
Right. It's not
cool that he's getting in. He's kind of learning on it.
These kids are in the closet huffing cryptos, aren't they? It's like, no.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like you just don't know. I'm sure they hear Bitcoin or whatever, and they're like,
right. Well, it comes with
a lot of like bad exposure.
Yeah, you have this ransomware, going on, and now it's like, they're asking. It's the same people. They were asking for like 70 million in Bitcoin. that Revel or Reveal or whoever they are, Russian hacking group.
Right. So it was cool to kind of express or see someone express interest, and then immediately pointing them to the show, and that was like an organic way to get a new follower. So it's kind of
nice. I got a funny story in terms of mining. So it's funny that you told the mother that there's nothing dangerous about it. Let me tell you something funny. I just started mining today or over the weekend. I'm using Unmineable. It's like an app to mine Ethereum-based cryptocurrency. So I started using my laptop for it. Now I got my buddy to do it also, right? So he's also got like a work laptop. It's like a government laptop that's like supposed to be secured and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, you might as well use that also. Just mine some cryptocurrency. So he downloaded Uminer, and like the antivirus software, so it blocked it and everything. I was like, oh yeah, well, bummer. I guess you can't do it, right? Well, a day later, like yesterday was a holiday, so I think today was like the first day of like normal work week. This morning, his account got deleted through his work server because apparently they think it's like infected with viruses and all that stuff. So he had to get a new work laptop through the IT department.
I mean, they probably have like IP, like they probably don't want you doing cryptocurrency stuff. But on government.
Well, they don't want you downloading anything. Period. You're not supposed to be using it for anything other than work.
Right. So there's probably two things going on. Like one, it's probably not an approved thing, but they see some
right.
Like third-party cryptocurrency mining app that they don't trust.
Apparently, sometimes it's hard enough, like trying to get past the Windows Defender, like allowing it to
you have to
run
disable it.
files. Right.
Yeah.
So there you go. So now you're like opening up your computer, pretty much for.
Right. So his computer, it's like, you're obviously not an administrator like the IT department is, right? So you can't even turn off like the Windows Defender and all that stuff. So the program wouldn't run. So the program never ran, but the IT department knows that we tried to run the software over and over.
Way to go, John. You're getting your buddy fired.
Yeah, I know.
Fired, but
they're like calling him and everything.
Get yourself on some sort of watch list.
Yeah.
Nice. So how much Ethereum have you mined?
I'm not mining Ethereum. I'm mining Shiba coin actually.
Oh, Shiba coin.
Of course you are.
Yeah. So my laptop doesn't have like a graphics card apparently. So I'm just mining.
Are they CPU mining?
Yeah. I mean, I thought there was a graphics card. I thought it was like an integrated thing, but apparently that doesn't count.
So you've been doing it for how many days?
Just a day actually.
So you probably do you have a 24-hour average like of the full day?
Yeah, about 4,000 Shiba coins.
Which equates to what?
I mean, not much. Probably like a cent or something. But I mean, that's today's value, right? Like
that's literally how me and Mike started. We got this program called Honey Miner.
Okay.
Which was a CPU miner, just like you're doing.
Okay.
And I think it was doing Bitcoin, or at least paying you in Bitcoin, or trying to pay you in Bitcoin. But it was like, I mean, it was like 0.0000 cents a day, like something really bad.
Right.
We did that for like about 3 days, and then it seemed to stop. Like it didn't
like pay us after a certain amount, or something. It was like
it wouldn't. I don't know. At some point, it wouldn't give you any more coin, or I don't know. Really, what the hell's up with that? And then that's when we stepped into eBay. But that was the first one we started it.
Yeah.
So how much faster did you experience your mining to be like using CPU versus like a real GPU, or versus like a huge mining rig?
Like 9,000% faster. I mean, it was
9,
like basic. Well, I mean, compared to the little MacBook CPU. Yeah, I mean, it was, if you're doing, I don't know what you could probably tell us what like terahash you're doing out of your, like it probably tells you your hash rate. Maybe a little deeper.
He's going to be at mega.
Yeah, these are, I mean, your CPU's only using like a couple watts. It's doing a couple like terahash. These things are using 3,000 watts and 23,000 terahash, which is just bajillion times faster than that. But I mean, it's a different machine.
Yeah, I mean, it's meant to do that. It's specifically integrated.
I don't know if there's not an ASIC machine that can run, or that specifically does Shiba though, if that's what you're trying to mine. If that's what you're getting at.
An ASIC that's made for that algorithm.
No company has made a integrated circuit, application-specific integrated circuit for Shiba.
I didn't know they were making them for specific coins.
They make them for specific algorithms.
Okay, I see.
Specific coins have specific algorithms. So if you had if Shiba had an algorithm, which I don't know what it does, if it had one that people wanted to make, and I don't know. I mean, that's how it works. So they do it for specific algorithms, and then if the coin's in that algorithm tree, you can mine it technically.
Okay. I mean, is there some sort of plug-in off-the-shelf product I can get, or I can plug into my laptop and I can use that as a GPU?
I mean, yeah, you can get any external GPU card, but good luck getting one right now.
Oh yeah.
Like I
think they've been a little bit easier to find, but I think the prices are still inflated. So
the ones that you can get are locked down to not let you do mining.
Right. A lot of the new ones that are being put out by GeForce or NVIDIA are limited because they want to encourage the miners from buying cards up because people are trying to game.
Look, John, me and Mike have a company called the Emsch Mining Company, and we can do a little evaluation for you.
Yeah. We'll do a free 30-minute consultation.
Yeah.
We can
show up.
Yeah.
Check out your scene. What are your goals? What are your investment?
Yeah. No, because my thing is perfect though, because I don't pay for utilities. It's like a flat fee, so I might as well hog as much of it as possible.
Pull up that first link right here, the Bitcoin mining profitability.
And I just have my laptop sitting on top of the AC vent, so it's just being cooled,
Right. I mean, but if you're only making cents and you're spending however much money and power a day, I mean,
Yeah, but I'm not spending money for power. It's the building power.
Oh, yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, you just said that, didn't you?
Mike, which one are you talking about? This one?
Well, no, the Bitcoin miner profitability, because we were talking about that. Yeah. So people would be willing and wanting to fire up their rigs. Take a look here. I mean, it could be doubling with the 20% drop. This is the third biggest drop in Bitcoin mining history because we've lost so much hashing rate.
So we kind of touched on this last episode where they were projecting it, but I think it's getting closer and closer to what the adjustment. Oh, it already happened on July 3rd.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, if that's it, then it must have.
Right. So they were projecting it. Now it's active. So the difficulty, the massive number hash that you have to try to basically just predict with your miner is much. You can get much smaller of the difference between the number and your actual number that you find out of that hash rate is a wider range now, so it's easier to get into the zone.
So
effectively,
it looks like we've been building back up since 6 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time on. I think that was this morning, and then since this morning, it's almost gone up over 20,000. Ectahash, I think.
What are you talking about? Hash rates right now?
Yeah, so the hash rate this morning was only at around 90 total, and it's gone up about 18. We're at 108. Just today, it's increased 18 ectahash. Here, I'll send you if you want to look at this one.
No, I think I got it on blockchain. Okay. This one, total hash.
Yep, should say.
Yeah, so you can see it whoop. So look how we look how
108
last time. Massive drop off, and things are coming online again. So yeah, that's difficulty is dropping, but you wouldn't mine Bitcoin. I mean, you can, but you wouldn't mine it with your GPU, probably even with your machine, John. So you'd probably.
I think you can mine Monero. That's the privacy coin. You can mine Raven coin. You can mine.
I mean, you can mine everything, but probably not efficiently or not very well.
Oh yeah.
Just the way that works. But.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just only interested in mining Shiba at the moment. It's got to stick to one thing.
This is going to incentivize people to bring more rigs online, and yeah.
So
stuff right
I
up.
guess there was an example. We can jump right into the Dogecoin giveaway. We can finally finish that off.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully Ali's watching.
Yeah, I don't know. There's 0 live viewers right now on YouTube, so probably not. But
All right,
I've been mining. This is via BTC, so like I'm making 0.05 Litecoin a day at 1.6 gigahash. You can see there's my power dropped off this afternoon. But I'm merge mining, so I get Litecoin and I get an equivalent amount of Dogecoin, like proportionally to the algorithms. So you get whatever you get in Litecoin, and then you also get Dogecoin pumped out. So I've already kind of withdrawn a lot, but I was up to 500 here, and like I don't know what it's been like 6 days since I've had 3 machines on this. If you look at my daily, so basically started like right here on. Right here is when I turned on 3 machines. Yeah, so 7-2. So what is it? 7-6. So 4 days I got like 500 Dogecoin and like 0.3 Litecoin. There's my Litecoin right there. But anyway, let's send it over to him now. I got 118 in there, freshly minted Dogecoin.
Fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press. We're going to hit withdraw. We're going to do normal transfer. Mike, can you validate his from the old signal?
Let's see.
And what is Dogecoin's value right at this moment? 0.23377.
Okay.
So that's going to be 25 divided by 0.23377. 106. We'll call it 107. We'll round up. 107 Dogecoin.
So DE Delta Echo Kilo, and then the end is Foxtrot Golf Uniform Sam.
Yep, that's the right. All right. So we're sending 107 Dogecoin for a fee of only 5 Doge. That's much better than 50 from Binance last week, which was ridiculous. So I'm going to hit.
Binance is about to get shut down.
All right. I'm going to get a code real quick from both. This is like security measures. So here's my code. These are not private, so don't worry about that. One-time use codes. And let's see, 019638. Bladau. Thank you for watching, Ali.
This could be you. Everybody else.
This could be you.
Could
have
be
been the
you.
giveaway. We're up to, I guess while we're let me take this away for just a second. We are at 350. Wait, no, 395, 396, I think, subscribers. Yeah, 396. So
nice.
Very close to 400 at least on the Facebook page. And I guess we're targeting 500. That's going to be our first little milestone. I think YouTube's at like 7 followers. So
Nice. All right.
just slowly pulling them in.
Slowly climbing.
Yep.
But then again, we haven't really done anything with it. You know, it's not bad considering we just threw some videos on there.
I think maybe once we start getting like we need one little viral video to happen. We need something to happen. We'll figure it out.
We gotta do some prank videos. Do you know Mr. Beast on YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with him. Yeah,
he's like this kid, and like he does like these $1 million giveaways and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he's like
fit whatever you can
in this circle,
in this little box, and I'll buy it for you.
Right. It was just like, I bought all these cars. He's like, invite whoever you want and give them all away. It's like, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder how he monetizes that. It can't be just through ads.
I mean, I'm sure
he's just a YouTuber. I thought, doesn't he have like millions and millions and millions of followers or something? So
yeah, but the amount you get from ads is so little. Like, it's not worth doing it for the ads. Like, the people who really crush it on YouTube, they just use YouTube as like a marketing channel, and they usually sell some sort of product or service or whatever it is. That's how you really monetize on it. But if you're just banking on like,
I don't know, he's always giving away stuff. So
I mean, he doesn't have a lot of followers. He is next level. But I've heard from YouTubers that are saying like, you know, people that you think are really people that are making a lot that you think they're really just barely making rent with YouTube ads. Yeah. Especially if they're living in like LA.
I mean, it's like pennies on the dollar. So I mean, even for like millions of views, I think. But if he's got hundreds of millions,
I think it also depends if you're like a premier YouTuber. You get like Walmart advertising on your thing versus you get like Joe's, you know, pasta and pizza down the street. Like I think the quality of the subscription that they bid to be on the biggest channels makes more money.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's probably different tiers. That makes
sense.
You'll
run like Donnie's car wash on like our thing and get monetized, but then you know like Jake Paul or whatever is getting like Pizza Hut or Papa John's or Domino's or something. And, you know, I think they make more money off They make more money off that, I think, but could be wrong.
And you make a couple million sparring with what's his face.
Right, exactly. So let's dip right into some talk here.
So yeah, since you had the charts pulled up of Dogecoin, what do you have pulled up right? Is that Bitcoin?
This is Bitcoin, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I guess we already talked about the potential Wyckoff pattern and the yellow line. I haven't changed yet. So just, you know, let's see how good the prediction has been. If you only were looking at the yellow line as a bottom, you know, you'd be pretty close. Right now, it's like it's really in this upward, these two white lines, this upward channel, which is kind of, I mean, overall bullish. It's only been going really up since, you know, June.
Well, it's had this, it's almost in like a ascending triangle too, right? That's what Chris was saying. And then like almost that line that was like resistance before now came support. It like bounced off it.
Yeah, like right now it's been just like fighting. Like right here, it wants to go down, but it was trying so hard to keep on this trend and would follow this trend. It seems like
now
it's winning.
At the new trend, right, is up.
Right. So if the yellow line is real, I mean, we went basically. I think about this yellow line, like I just missed. Here, let me unlock this. Like, what if this yellow line was just here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, I only missed it like just a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, it didn't follow. I mean, obviously I can't draw perfectly, but if this is generally the trend, then this is going to go in that channel. And then we're going to break out and then come back to retest it. And then sayonara.
Maybe then up to the next level.
It's pretty optimistic. But just straight lines up.
Well, I mean, yeah. No,
that's how the Wyckoff pattern says. It's like
that's right. That's what the Wyckoff pattern says, right? So, it's capitulation, and then is there going to be one final shakeout, you know, to the downside again?
Yeah.
Once, and then people then are going to buy back in to then shoot back up. But
there's also like they're also saying there's another mega triangle, like looking at like this kind of. And it's kind of sitting inside that mega triangle right now, which, again, it's just like a 2-month long pattern. And when you have those patterns that are that long, wherever it goes, up or down, the breakouts are usually significant. But everyone is acknowledging that like the volume that occurred here in, you know, that immediate 28,000 point, like these volumes just kind of clearly say that if it ever drops that low, it's going to be hyper quick and kind of recover back to where it's been sitting here now. So it might go, you know, it's going to be a rough path, but I don't think we're going to see 24. I guess that's the point.
Oh yeah.
I don't think a lot of analysts are seeing that, but So
I came across a report saying it was also a Wyckoff pattern. However, they're saying we're still kind of early in that Wyckoff pattern, and they're anticipating like another drop before it goes back up.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah, I want to see if I can find that article, but yeah. I
mean, it's possible. Like we could have our timing off. Like, you know, you never know. It's obviously
Yeah,
not.
we'll see.
It's just a hypothetical pattern, but it's based on analytics. So
Yeah.
one that's been doing really. I mean, Ethereum has been. I mean, it like gained.
Wow.
Last time we did our show, it was at like 1900 or 1800,
Oh, yeah.
like just like last
Right,
week.
so that would have been a great buyback in. It's like if you had bought prior, it goes to 4,000, you sell, it goes back down to where you bought pretty much, and then now it's like going back right back up. So it's like if you could add time some of this bottom.
Right, we did our show on the 29th last week, and it was basically right here at this line. I mean, it was like chilling
Right
here, and now it's that's a pretty good price target.
And even before that, I mean, look how low it went. I mean, that's 1,800 Ethereum, 1,700 Ethereum, anything under 2,000 is like.
So it's like a 14% change since last week. So it's
pretty solid.
It's been doing pretty good overall.
If it gets anywhere close to $3-4 grand again, I'm selling some.
Yeah,
we know better this time, right?
Yeah, yes. I mean, my personal feel is there's still more downsides. It just doesn't seem that strong when it's going up. It's like it's just really struggling.
Well, they have the hard fork coming, so I think a lot of people are excited about that. Ethereum 2.0, validators, staking. So
it's supposed to be pretty solid, or do you think there's going to be bugs and problems?
I mean, there can't be bugs. Like they can't afford that. They have this, like, they test it out before they release it to the world.
I'm sure they do.
I mean, every software that comes out is tested, but all sorts of shit.
I'm sure they do
bugs
some sort of like bringing certain parts on at certain times.
Yeah. Mike, is this hard fork the fork, like the one that we're talking about? Where
right there it says introduces a new fee structure to make Ethereum less inflationary. This protocol changes is highly controversial. It aims to burn part of the fees, hence decreasing miner revenue. And then
it says EP delays Ethereum difficulty bomb to December 1st. The mechanism will incrementally increase difficulty of mining, freezing proof of work over to proof of stake. Okay, so it's going to take.
So it's perpetually going to get harder and harder till you can't solve it. Nothing will be able to solve it, and then then that's when they'll swap over to the new validator system.
Oh yeah. Is there any word on how well it's working? Like any bugs or issues with software?
I mean, I guess that'll be discussed at the EIP. So if you could be a bug on the wall, or see the transcripts or see what they say. I mean,
I wonder if will both proof of work and proof of stake exist at the same time?
I mean, I guess it kind of has to, because they're going to be shutting down the one part of it while moving on to the next part. So I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
that means Ethereum as it exists right now, because it's a hard fork, so you have to exchange your Ethereum for Ethereum 2.
No, they said you won't have to do anything with it. Apparently, it'll all get migrated over to the new.
So it's not ETH2. It's not the ETH2 fork. This is just the EIP for proof of stake and burning. Because ETH2, you have to you stake it.
Right, but I think Ethereum 2 is the proof of stake network. That's what it is. So,
as part of the roadmap designed to lead up to the release of Ethereum 2, which will replace Ethereum's current proof of work protocol, London hard fork has been implemented into various testnets. After successful activation, the hard fork release date will be decided.
There you go. So they did the testnets, and then that is the proof of stake is 2.0. But they said you don't have to do anything with your Ethereum. It's all going to be the same. There won't be any difference.
How can that be if it's a hard fork?
I don't know, but I mean that's how they explained it, and it was whoever I was listening to. I trust whoever it was. I just don't remember exactly. But you can look it up, double check. I think it was actually Coinbase or something that was saying something about it.
Cool. Okay.
Which I just got invited to apply for their Coinbase crypto card, which allows you to spend your
Nice.
crypto and then get paid back in 1% Bitcoin or 1% stellar lumens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I
Wow,
applied for it. I mean, I'm not going to be spending like Ethereum or like. I mean, I guess I could, but I don't want to incur the tax.
So you have to spend your crypto to get the 1%, or you have to spend
Yeah, I think their
US
card is like
dollar
a
to get
debit
1%
card.
crypto.
Their card is like a debit crypto card from Visa, and it pays you back 1% in crypto. But then, so they were saying, oh, you should just set up a USDC reoccurring buy, so you always have money in your account, and then you could just spend that wherever you want. So I'm like, well, since it's a stable coin, is there any sort of tax implication on that? Because you're not making money on a stable coin, right? So does that make sense to where you just weekly buy it, have a couple $100 in there, spend off that for like little things, food, gas, and whatnot, and then earn 1% back in Bitcoin?
So it's not a credit card; it's a debit card.
From what I can tell, yes, it's a debit crypto card. Yes, you can look it up if you want to. Just look up. I think it's different than the BlockFi one. The BlockFi one is a credit card that you get paid back in crypto rewards. So that one's a little bit more appealing to me, because then I'd be spending USD for like, gas and whatever. Yeah, spend crypto, earn crypto.
So you'd have to load onto the account with some sort of cryptos, either buy or load it on with. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess maybe like say you have in a crypto account, and then John, you take like, oh, Ethereum's at 4K, and you're like, all right, I'm going to take some profit. You convert that to US dollar, and then now you have that all set in your account, and then I guess you could spend that, right? So then you spend it on.
So it's basically
whatever.
like a PayPal card. You spend what's in your Coinbase portfolio, but it's accessing now. It's accessible to any transaction.
Sweet.
Anywhere Visa is accessible.
Is accepted, right?
Yeah, nice. Wow, that's cool.
I'd be interested to see if there's a fee.
It says no annual fee right there.
No, but if there's no transaction fee, like it doesn't cost them, they're not taking any the cryptocurrency.
Right.
Yeah,
whoever's exchanging it, there definitely could be. I definitely could think that there would be, like, whoever's taking it and then exchanging it back, they'll say, well, I'm going to take a percentage of it.
Yeah, but see, Coinbase is custodial, so like that never actually moves. That's probably the difference. Like for them, it's just like it's like balancing,
like an internal transfer.
Yeah, it's never actually moving on the blockchain.
So this card is, I don't know.
It seems kind of cool.
This is a Coinbase card, yeah.
Yeah, okay, this is Coinbase card, yeah.
Right. So I think Coinbase is a large enough. I'm just kind of guessing, right? So I think Coinbase is kind of a large enough company where it's just simply they may let you transact for free, but the fact that you're holding a thing that says Coinbase on it, that's like advertising for them. It encourages you to eventually at some point you might become a Coinbase customer and start trading on Coinbase, right? And that's possible also.
I think it's what we just said earlier. It's custodial, so that they never actually move the coin. Because when you give it, you send it to them, like it's technically yours, but it's in their, they have the private
possession.
So whether it shows up in your account or not, they still have possession of the coin. So when you say I spend it, they'll just balance the checkbook saying your account has this much less, and they'll figure out where to move it. Like they can eliminate and do like a Lightning Network kind of transaction at the end of the day.
They're not going to be doing all these individual transactions, right?
Correct.
Which they're taking tacky on their fees anyway. So it's like you think that they would be, but charging you these insane fees.
I mean, if anything, it just gives you an opportunity to pay stuff like your power bill with, us as miners. Now we could pay our power bill. You could send your coin to Coinbase, pay your power bill without ever really seeing the, needing the utility to know that you're paying in crypto. So that's
right. Cool. Well, it's one less move too. Yeah, you don't have to like send it somewhere to then change it to then send it somewhere else, or like you're just sending it to Coinbase and then you could pay with this credit card. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, everything's good. Right.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So
Do you plan on using it day to day, or like what's your plan with it?
No, I mean I don't really keep anything in Coinbase anyway. So if I
I'm just trying to figure out.
USD,
Sorry, I cut you off. I was gonna say, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I really like use the crypto, right? Like, should I pull profits, use it as like day-to-day spending, or should I just keep it as like an investment vehicle? And I was thinking I'll probably use like my, earned income as like, the dollars as day-to-day spending. I'll probably keep most of my crypto as investments, unless it's like a larger purchase, like say you buy a car or something, or try to buy a house somehow with crypto.
It's probably a good idea. It just depends on, like Ethereum has unlimited amount. So it's like, would I spend Ethereum over Bitcoin? Yes. So if I put, 1,500 into Ethereum, it was at 4,400. And I'm like, yeah, I really want this bike. Okay. So then now I can buy it with my Visa card, right? Because then I just grew it. But what you're saying is, I guess it just depends on the crypto itself and what you're going to use it for. But yes, I think that could be something to think about versus investment versus spending it. It's realizing some of your gains by spending it.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
But I wouldn't spend Bitcoin.
I think the final answer is like probably somewhere in the middle. Like
it is, yeah.
If you're mining coins like we are and you're mining Dogecoin, like that should be expendable. I'm not long-term holding Doge. Like it should be a vehicle in which I could use to spend. But the difference is with that, when you're mining, like you're getting the profit. I can spend the top, take the top off, but pay my power bill. I think that's a perfect example of that part of it. Use it.
Yeah.
And kind of
Coinbase now has Doge.
But then settle everything else.
Yeah.
So you guys won't be holding Doge long term?
Power bill in Doge.
I would not be holding. I'm going to hold Doge. I wanted to get 1,000 under like a kind of a base of 1,000 and just wait till it pops and then sell it.
Oh yeah.
Just to get.
I think Doge would be a long term thing. I mean, I get it started as a meme coin, but the fact that there's so much social momentum behind it, I feel like it's like a second Bitcoin. It doesn't need to have utility.
Well, I don't think
it
it's going to go away. I just think it's going to be like it's going to be around $1, somewhere.
It can't be an.
I think it'll be in the dollars.
What'd you say, Mike?
I think at some point.
I'm saying it can't be an infinite supply. That's one thing. I mean, you can never, everything gains value by people owning it, so the demand needs to be there. And if the supply is always increasing, there's never an end to it. You're always fighting this uphill battle and then you always have these whales too of holding how much, and whenever they move, whatever they have, that affects the price dramatically. Yeah. I guess that's true in all kind of cryptos, but I tend to like, I just tend to like the coins that have a cap that just says this is as much as will ever be made. And that's how Bitcoin is. And that's why it's the store of value. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not banking on it going to like $10 in, 10 years.
So?
I'm thinking it'll be like $1 and then it might like go back down to 70 cents and then it'll go up to $1.20.
Yep. It's going to do these waves where it's like it was 6 cents, then it went to like 25, then it went to 50, 70 too quick. Now we're back down to 25. So then, when's the next wave up to 50 cents? By the end of the year?
I think it's coming pretty soon. As soon as Bitcoin starts moving, I think it'll start moving with Bitcoin.
Everything's going to explode once the market gets traction again. You're going to see a massive explosion again.
Well, and then we just don't hope. We hope that the stock market is the one that doesn't fall off, because I've just seen some it seems like everybody's just chugging up on that, buying, and then I saw like this chart where it was like for the first time we have like the most like non-profitable businesses, like everything's just like tanking. So like how is the stock market?
I saw that chart, yeah.
Right, how is the stock market just we're at all-time highs again? But in the S&P,
we were like negative territory for businesses that were profitable.
For businesses,
compared to all the businesses. And every time it's been that low, the stock market has bubbled and popped.
Right. So I've heard like analysts.
I mean, not every time, but the last like 2 pops, it was very, you could correlate that data.
You could always say it's different this time, but so I don't know. Things seem propped up and inflationary or deflationary, either one can lead to some bad stuff down the road. And then if the stock market crashes, then people tend to pull from crypto to cover their losses. So is that going to, can that be, effective to each other, affecting cause or cause?
I think it'll depend like where we are as a society with crypto at that point. It's like how much confidence we have in it. I mean, right now it's still not like a main thing, right? I think as time goes on, it's going to be more and more accepted as, an actual asset, at least in people's minds, right? With things like
it's
Coinbase
definitely not
Spark
going
coming out
anywhere,
stuff,
right? But it hasn't fully, soaked the market.
Yeah, but if you
Right.
like going back to the conversation we started here, I'm having a conversation with some, like basically a suburban mom about cryptocurrency. Like that's the kind of reach it has right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and that's the Doge.
Yeah.
That's the Doge effect, where you have these people calling you up and, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? It's like,
yeah. So here's another chart I wanted to show, Mike, kind of similar to what you were getting at. I guess I could do this one here. No, you can't see it. Hold on.
That's stock and flow.
Yeah, so the stock to flow chart. So they use this like, I guess, model against metals and precious metals, where it's a limited commodity. It's very hard to get, like gold and other metals like that.
Right.
And if you use that stock to flow method against Bitcoin, this is its project. So that white line is what the model predicts. And this colored line is Bitcoin price value right now. The colors themselves are the proximity to Bitcoin halving. John, can you see it? Let me zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, if you zoom in a little bit, it'll be a little bit better.
So let me take away this thing too here. All right, so yeah, the colors are proximity to Bitcoin halving. So you can see like
2020
red
blue,
is very
blue.
far away. So like blue means like halving is imminent, and after a halving, generally there's a bull market because Bitcoin becomes immediately more scarce, and just people want to grab it up, and that's
right. And look, you see this little dip right here, and then look, rocket back up.
Right. So there was the dip that's here, and then you see like we're kind of approaching the next phase of yellow again. So we've kind of halved early in 2020. It had this nice little cycle up, and we're about to just, so according to the model, in mid 2021, August,
100K.
we're projecting $100,000 Bitcoin.
Right. And then that goes on that way for,
it kind of like chills. But yeah, this is $1 million. This is in logarithmic scale, Mike. So $1 million and 100,000 are between these two. So like,
right,
it's going up. It's 20. I think it's 220,000 by 2024. If you really look at the number.
Right, it does come slightly off that line there.
Yeah, it's going up. It's just it's hard to see in this logarithmic scale here.
So I guess you would get some sort of like deviation up and down, probably around 100K, and then beyond.
And again, the reason they compare this to precious metals is because Bitcoin is a limited supply, 21 million coins, and it's going to be really hard. You can't just make it; you have to mine it. It's hard to get.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's scarce. It's just
supply and demand. This is where that
intrinsic value.
This is what MicroStrategy's been banking on, with their thing. It's the most precious, or it's the hardest asset, the most scarce asset in the world, even more than gold. So I thought that was
gold, because you can just go mine more. They actually just like whenever demand increases for gold, the supply also increases, and they use that to dilute the market. You can't do that. You can't use that type of inflationary tactic or debasement on Bitcoin.
All right, so pretty cool there. I also thought this was a cool little chart. I know we've talked about this kind of stuff before too, but it was just like some quick facts. So the circulating supply, we just talked about this, 21 million ever to be minted, and we're at 89%. So that kind of makes you feel like, oh shit, it's like about to stop. Like relative to Bitcoin lifetime, like we're at the end of life of new Bitcoins here.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
Relative-
and you got to think about there's not 18 million out there too. There's like Satoshi lockup and like
Right.
lost
Yeah.
coins, all these different. So they're saying like maybe 14 to 15 million actually really out there.
And then if you just look at these are the holding concentrations of the world. So me and Mike have always talked. This is how we got into this, and we set our own personal goals. But if you are, 0.1 to 1%, 0.1 to 1 Bitcoin, you're 6% of the addresses.
Right, in the whole world.
If you have more than
Wow.
one, you're 1% of the ownership of Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
We want to be,
And then above
our
that-
target was like 0.25, like when we first started and got in, and we're kind
Right,
of
so there's only
approaching
2 million people that have up to 1 Bitcoin. If you're at 1 to 10, I mean, there's only 600,000 people out of 8 billion that have 1 or more Bitcoin. I mean, that just shows you like there's not going to be enough. If people are going to have the money and they're going to try to buy them, and there will not be the supply there for them, I believe.
When are they projecting that we're going to run out of Bitcoins to mine?
Hey, look, hold on real quick. Hey, just got the Doge.
Yeah.
Ta-da. All right, we got
Very nice.
Thank you, good sir.
Thank you, sir. That was awesome. Hey, we even get the names via YouTube, so that's cool.
Yep, now we do.
Sweet.
At like caller number 1.
Yeah, congrats, brother. All right, so yeah, I mean, this was I thought this was just cool. It was like, man, there's only 4 addresses that have more than 10,000, which is like crazy. But
100,000.
those are like mega whales. Yeah, 100,000. Sorry, but I mean, we can.
That's
you can
Winklevoss.
get here- You can get here very easily. You can get
Yes.
here with some work.
So if you look right there, if you buy 0.01, you're already ahead of 10 million people. If you buy 0.001, you're already ahead of 20 million people. It's like, or you're ahead of 30 million if you're at 0.01, like a cent a bit.
Yeah.
So what are you
it's
waiting for? Jump in, buy it. The time is now. Like,
When are
Yeah.
they projecting that we're going to not have any more Bitcoins to mine?
It's
well, it ends
2024. I
what,
think.
2040?
No, I think
2040?
is that the last? Yeah, maybe you're right.
I'm not
2040.
sure.
You might be right.
2024 or
It's going to
2040?
be, I think it's at what, 6.25 right now. Then it goes to, 6.5.
Because it gets harder and harder to mine, right? That's why it takes so
Here you
long.
go.
Well, the
to build it all up.
difficulty will stay about the same because it's going to
Oh,
keep
okay.
at the 10
Yeah,
pace.
it
10
doesn't get
minute
harder
pace.
to mine. It just gets harder the reward is less.
There you go.
So 2032 is the last
Having.
halving.
So it'll have to 0, right? Yeah.
Right. So we're right here. We're at having 12. I think we're at 12.5. Oh no, we're at 6.2 right now.
We're at
This is it.
6.5. Yeah.
So then it's going to get half as hard, and then half as hard, and then half as hard, and that just means it's going to be harder and harder to there's just less and less in circulation.
Yep. And that's just going to deflate all the way until, there's then it'll just be minor fees that are running the network. And then
Right.
maybe Satoshis will be like, how many Satoshis will buy something, hamburger.
So another cool mining thing, Mike, you sent this to me earlier today, but so I don't know, what do you call this? Greenwich? Did I say that?
Yeah. Greenwich, yeah.
Massive.
Greenwich.
This is in New York. They have like
Connecticut.
24 megawatts of power generation on site. But what they're doing, they took over an old power plant. So they're generating power and also giving power back to they're generating power for the power grid when they have extra power. And then they're mining Bitcoin with that natural gas clean power.
Oh, wow.
Relatively clean power. So you can buy into their product of like them mining and them making power for the power utility. It's like a dual, service, but they're going to scale up to like 400 megawatts, something ridiculous.
But the people around them were complaining because they were using the water to cool stuff off, and they're releasing it back into like the lake. The
Goes warmer.
water's temperature is like 108 degrees. So they're like, dude, this is like the middle of summer. It's like 100 degrees out, and then the water is like 100 degrees. But
Is it actually 100 degrees? The water?
that's what
I mean,
they
the
said.
water that they put, the water it's
They
we kinda talked about-
discharge
yeah,
the
it's like
water into the
discharge.
lake.
They're
Yeah.
using water as a cooling tower, basically.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Geothermal cooling with the water coming in, basically. So, yeah, I
I
mean,
guess they're going to renegotiate their contract within a certain period of time, but that's within the spec of their rules. So I guess just people are getting pissed. But
So they bought that plant just to mine Bitcoins? That was
Yes.
the purpose. Holy crap. And this is
Yeah.
in Greenwich,
Bought a-
Connecticut.
yeah, they bought a power plant and they're just
Wow.
making
25 megawatt facility. Or 48, you said?
It's 25 now, I think.
25 now.
At current scale, and then they can go up to 400 megawatts, like with their real estate and their
Dude, they're going
generation.
to be making like Bitcoins a day. Like literally just like,
Oh yeah, for real. I mean, you saw those. They had those like huge wells of just like it's like a wall of like 100 stacks of S19 miners.
it's like, ooh, it's going to be so
Yeah.
loud.
Huge investments happening on that front.
But that's cool. I mean, it just more setting up in the United States.
So there was one oh yeah, here we go. So talking about NFTs, it's pretty. So one of the guys, artist on CryptoPunks, is getting a copyright infringement for an NFT of another CryptoPunk that he made himself. So like he basically tried to like copyright an NFT, or he made another NFT, a copy of an NFT, and tried to sell it, and he did. But then Cyberpunks came back and is doing a copyright infringement of the NFT like as a product. So if you think about it, it's like, okay, well, an NFT is a non-fungible token that says this is the digital right to this thing. But you can screenshot, like a picture of Michelangelo and sell it again, I guess. Like, are you selling? You're not selling the thing.
Right,
selling,
because
like,
it
a
is a
copy of the
digital
thing.
asset to begin with, right? And it's not the actual one. Well, so yeah, I mean, I don't think it's not the actual thing because you prove that you have the key or the address, to the blockchain
The actual
portion.
thing,
That's
yeah.
the real one, right?
Right. So I guess he's trying to like make a point. For some reason, if you read the article, it's just like, I question Larva Labs' motives, understanding art, understanding punk, and understanding cryptocurrency. He says, basically, like he said somewhere, there was a quote down
So
here.
is he using the own likeness of his own art? Like, is that?
I think he was one of the
copy?
guys he was one of the artists that they employed to draw some of the crypto punks.
Right. Yeah.
And I think he just kind of did that again and sold it himself like elsewhere. But they like,
and they're saying, oh, well,
they're
that's
trying to say,
no,
like,
you created that for us. We own the rights to that. You can't do that.
even though he wasn't selling the exact NFT that they sell. So it's like,
So it should be different. It's different.
right?
They're not replaceable. Right.
Right. So I think he was trying to kind of do that as like, he thinks it's going to be famous because he's selling the first NFT that's getting sued by this. And now it's like this really famous NFT because it was the first one to get copyright infringement for NFTs or something to that effect.
Interesting. That's smart.
I think it's just, it's obviously a growing world of things that are still.
I mean, they're going to have to hash that stuff out, right, and figure it out. I mean, it's like,
are you really selling it, or is it really?
I can take a picture of it. It's not going to be that great quality. I can tell people that I own it, but I really don't. I mean, people lie all the time. It's just
right.
Cubic zirconia, fake hair. Come on now.
So like, here's a list of those. The NFTs by volume. Just if you're interested, like CryptoPunks is the -- leader. They have 10,000 CryptoPunks. I guess that's just like they haven't made any more. It's $10 million in volume, 374 million in total net worth. So, they did.
I mean, there's definitely money out there. I've heard that NFTs have kind of dropped a little bit. Well, with just the drop in prices, it kind of
Yeah,
sways people.
I think I went back to this article and they talk about one of them and I looked at you can see the price. Yeah, right here. So like this guy, you can see the history on the block, on the chain, like what this one's done. So like someone bought it for $76 on June 2017. Sold it for 150, sold it for 16, 320, 2100. Like, I don't know what this is, bid withdrawn. So those are bid. Okay, it just sold for that much. And then it just again sold for 7.58 million.
No.
So someone between this guy and this guy made a lot of money.
Yep.
But there were other ones, like you can look at all their, like the projects or their prices as they go down, and a lot of them go down. I mean, it's not, like these guys, for example. Okay, those are just bids. Okay, so like this one was $14. These are bids, and I'm not sure what the difference between bids and offers, other than just like this is someone trying to sell it, and this one's someone trying to buy it, but it doesn't happen until here.
I think, an offer, anytime someone could just offer you like, hey, I'll buy that for 20 grand. And you're like,
There's no, I can reject it.
Right.
That's kind of cool. It's like eBay. You get to see the offers and bids, like you get to see the demand.
On the history, right. Who had it? I think some of them will probably be like, oh, someone famous owned this one, so it should actually be worth more because they owned it at some point. And it says right here that they owned it.
Yeah, it's all in there. That's cool.
And like, so this person bought it at 106, had an offer for 206,
like immediately
declined it, and then now it's worth less than what they bought it for. So like,
right. So they should have.
They're like dummy.
Yeah, they were thinking 7 figures.
They were thinking 7 million. I mean, maybe you could go back, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see that history. Yeah, like this one sold it for 21. Has a bid for 2. Not that the bid means anything, but that's kind of where your head's at. So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Well, we're actually coming up. Man, that was a quick show.
Yeah. I guess before we go, why don't we talk about what do you think the price is going to this week? What kind of price movements we're expecting? I
feel like, again, we kind of talked about the crypto market. It's kind of waiting for Bitcoin to make a decision, but I do feel very positive, very confident that we have hit the bottom. We've seen the bottom already. So it's from, it may not be this week. And this is not financial advice. You can do what you want.
Never is.
Never is. This is entertainment only. But I mean, I'm not stepping into the, I guess, altcoin market just yet. I've just been putting money into Bitcoin still, like my consistent buy strategy for weekly investments. And then obviously
dollar
mining,
cost.
I'm doing mining, but I'm not going heavy in altcoins yet. Although if you're thinking it's going to go up from here,
time to buy
now
would be
the time
now.
to start buying altcoins. This is when you want to do it. So
maybe
I start thinking about which ones I want to
I
continue.
mean, if you have a long-term plan, I mean, that's, it is a good time when it dips, buy. If you know you're going to hold it, then just hold it. Then throw it in your BlockFi, throw it in your Nexo, your Celsius account, build some interest on it and just hodl. And,
I mean, I'm super bullish on ADA. I really want that coin to just, I want that to say 200. I want that to say 200 or 400 on.
I'm going to say, what if we see Bitcoin at the end of the week, which is what, the 11th or 12th, like Sunday? I would think, could we break 36, 35? I'm going to say we're going to be right around 35,500 to 36,000.
So somewhere right there. 35 is like right there.
36.
Nice. I think it's going to be a little bit flat. I think it's going to be flat with a slight downward trend. That's just kind of my take.
So you think we're going to follow that like line that we've kind of been trending down the whole time.
Yeah,
already.
yeah. I think there's still a little bit downside. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think at some point it's gonna break out, and it's gonna be pretty wild. But I just don't think it's right
According to
now.
my yellow line, that's going to be tonight.
Yep. Right. Well, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I have this like Chris is talking about the ascending triangle, and I'm hoping that this ascension right here is just going to make this meeting point right at the top around 35.8, and then if we can break that, then we're going further up. But
Yeah, I mean, it's
got to grow slowly. Before it just like everybody was like so bullish, and it just kind of like roller coasted it up, and then
yeah, there's still a lot of pressure going downwards, and there's going to be a lot of resistance going upwards. I think generally though we are going up, so I think we've hit. There might be a moment in time where we kind of digress a little bit, but it's going to be like you got to buy it then, and it's going to all these candles, like when they wick down, they don't last very long. So
yeah. All right, we'll see.
So next week we have our show right here at the beginning of phase. Oops, didn't mean to move that line. Technically, our show will be at the beginning of phase E if this yellow line is right. So literally right here on July.
So we're going up. You should be long in Bitcoin right now.
Here's the call. If we're at a $43,000 Bitcoin, buy our show next week.
43? You mean 53?
No, 43.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
The beginning of phase E. If that's where we are next week, that'd be awesome.
We're giving away more Dogecoin.
Hell no, we're giving away Dogecoin at our 500 subscriber, or somewhere around 500. We'll have a Dogecoin giveaway. But all right, well, this has been fun.
I digress. All right,
I'll send it off with a little bit of a.
Here comes the money, 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 money.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Keep
Adios.
hodling.
take care of each other. Be safe. Peace.